So when you get to that foreshortening concept with the cylinder, it's kind of like a progression like this. So you would see, I'll do it down here. You would see it from a rectangle to a elliptical like this to a more oval. Draw the oval a little bigger. To an oval. It's also going to get shorter as we go. This is going to be very similar in height, but then as this goes, it's going to get shorter and it's going to continue around. So then we're going to get bigger here, shorter here, and then finally my last kind of almost circle, and then finally to the circle. So this is kind of a tilting concept with your foreshortening. And again, everything is really sketchy here. So we want, not sketchy isn't bad, but like we're just kind of sketching out this concept. If you're really going to go into a layout where you're just sketching something out, this is a great way to kind of begin. And then once you're happy with where your objects are at and the angle of your objects, the tilt of your objects, the foreshortening of your objects, then you can go back in with a pencil or even a pen or like a Sakura marker or something like that, and you can go in and you can really tighten these forms up. And again, this is what we're talking about here is all practice. I'm not talking about going in and making a final drawing of something right now. We're just talking about practice. You know, Allen Iverson, we just talking about practice here. So we're practicing just moving objects along. You may want to look at a cylinder from below. Also, a lot of people have a difficult time rendering from below. Some people really struggle with that. You're going to want to look at different methods of shading this, because maybe your shading is on the inside like this. This would give a representation of a hollow, much like you're looking up into your object. Longer cylinders, if you're not well practiced in longer things like this, longer cylinders like this. I can remember doing a drawing, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles drawing, where you had, you know, Donatello was holding his staff. How many fingers they got? They only got 2 fingers. Donatello is holding his staff, you know, and the staff is this long cylinder, and you might roughen it up a little bit, or they have tape a lot of the times that's on there, so something like that. Really rough. Please do not criticize my Donatello hand right now. I'm just sketching out a concept. So, and then that would continue on below and below and below and get further away as you go. So this is kind of a lot of the concepts that you're going to use this for. But like I said in the beginning of the video, a cylinder is so crucial when rendering a drawing. You have to be able to manipulate the cylinder. You have to be able to manipulate it, bend it, tilt it, twist it, do whatever you have to do with it, but you have to be able to do that. So it is crucial. Practice concepts. You can always practice 1-point perspective. You can practice 2-point perspective. You can practice 3-point perspective. And those are all videos that I'm going to add in to the channel later. They're all stuff that I'm going to visit with my classes. You can also set up like a can and move it at different angles and tilt it. You can do cups, drinking glasses, and one of the ones that I always found really super interesting to try to draw were like paper rolls. If you've ever seen a big paper roll, or like even a paper towel roll. Those are fun because not only is the cylinder a little bit bigger, but it's hollow, and it also has, the edge is falling off. So you would have, you know, like a roll of paper towels unrolling. That's not an easy drawing to make. So you might have, you know, and again, this is kind of off the cuff here, but you may have a cylinder that looks one way, like this, a little bit bigger, that's here, like this, but then maybe you have a table edge. Then you have to practice that paper towel rolling off the edge. Then you've got all kinds of stuff that you can practice in there. Just to be able to make that drawing, you have to have a pretty solid understanding of everything that goes on in a three-dimensional perspective world that we draw in. So this is all something that, these are just practice things, and you can set this drawing up. You can set it up in your room, you can set it up if you're in a classroom and your teacher has you guys free drawing. If you know, you're sitting at your dining room table, just roll it out and sit there and look at it and draw, then turn it and draw it from a different direction, and turn it and draw it from a different direction. Stand it up so that you're drawing your paper towel roll from above, and then have that piece hanging off and see what it looks like when it hangs off. See how that thing folds, see how it bends, see what it looks like. This is all practice, okay? And I know it doesn't seem like it, but artists, guys who do this for a living, folks who draw for a living, they practice. You may not see them practice, but they practice. So really, when we're talking about drawing all of this stuff, when we're talking about being able to create using this kind of drawing, the main word here is practice. You got to practice, practice, practice. That is all.